The mining space right now is the best space to be in the world. We're going to print money, i.e. gold bars. People need to pay attention to West Santa Fe. It is so low risk, it's ridiculous. It's where you can get 10, 20, 30 baggers, but you need to educate yourself.
Most gold stories ask for attention, very few command it. Here at the MKK in Munich, I'm Lyndsay Malchuk with Lahontan. And in a sector that has seen every version of the pitch, what actually cuts through is leadership that is all in, fully accountable, fully invested, and fully aligned with where the company is going. Because it's one thing to run a company, it's another to build it from the ground up, shape the vision, drive the strategy, and stand behind every single decision along the way. That level of ownership changes how a story is told and, more importantly, how it's believed. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Lahontan Gold right now, a company gaining traction because the leadership behind it is impossible to ignore. I'm joined today by the CEO, Director, President, and Founder, Miss Kimberly Ann herself. Kimberly, it is so great to have you here in Munich, and this is such a different crowd than what we're normally used to. I mean, Germans are very patiently intense, and yes, I did use patiently intense because it's a real thing.
I actually really love that term. They're patiently intense, but they are very well educated in our industry, which is what I love about meeting with my European investors or, hopefully more investors in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's kick it off with your West Santa Fe project. Tell us about this.
Yeah, I mean, West Santa Fe is the most massive upside for our company in that they're bolt-on ounces 13 kilometers across the road. So you have to think about it like this. Every ounce we find there is bolt-on ounces that we are just trucking across the road. We're not going to build anything over there. We've already started the baseline studies so we can, get to the point where we can drive it across the road, which takes about 2 years. But it's massively important for the company because we picked it up very inexpensively. The last component before I said we'd go into the baseline studies was having, recoveries, met work done on it. And the recoveries back in the day was 70% for gold and 60% for 55% for silver. We just did a study, 81% for gold, 60% for at the end of the day, it's recoverable, okay? And it's higher grade than what we have over at Santa Fe. Like the last press release we put out was 3 grams in a 40-meter interval, 6 grams in another one, and then massive silver. So the message here is people need to pay attention to West Santa Fe because we don't need gazillions of ounces there. Every ounce counts to drive across the road. I mean, literally. So meaning that we could just do an aggregate-style permit that just you're trucking rock. This is just a simple moving operation.
It makes it sound too good to be true, but it really is that simple.
Yeah, it is that simple. Yeah.
What about the Heap leach pads? Let's talk about that stuff.
Oh, I'm so excited about this.
Tell me more.
Well, I mean, look, our cash costs are so low. $1,200 an ounce in the ground right now on our PA. I think they're going to drop even more as we get into the next steps. But whatever, we're going to print money, i.e. gold bars at site once we get this in production. So it doesn't matter what's happening in the political world that we live in, it's going to make a lot of money. But what's exciting about gold and silver being at what they are, you sit there and go, wait a minute, what else do we have in our project?
Exactly.
And we have such an amazing database from it being in production back in the day that we looked at the 4 heap leach pads, historic heap leach pads that we've recovered, reclaimed, I should say, and went, wait a minute, there's over 200,000 ounces sitting there. Well, the grade should be about 0.34 because the cutoff was so high back in the day. So we can't put that into a mine plan until we drill it. So the sonic rig's showing up next week. We're drilling 96 very short holes. For people that don't know what a sonic rig is, it's a vibrational rig so it doesn't hit into the lining. And we're just going to drill all over the heap leach pads so we can put it into the mine plan going forward. So we'll have our PA out in September. This data won't be a part of that, but everybody should realize this is crushed rock that we're shoveling it and putting it on the next TV plant.
Simple.
It's free money right there. So, and it will just add more ounces to my life. So No, it is the giggle factor of our project, and it's the exciting part and the fun part about gold being the price where it is.
Absolutely. And even silver on that basis too. Silver is your secondary?
Yeah, silver is the other component of our project, and I don't know how much silver is in those heap bets because I always think of gold, but I'm starting to love silver because it's at a high price right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's a bit of a rock star right now.
Because West Santa Fe was mined back in the 30s for silver. There's 8 adits on the property. It's quite exciting to walk it. I'm like, oh, we might have to build a Merrill Crow for that. Oh, Hollywood problem. What?
Hollywood problem.
Come on, Hollywood problem. Yeah, found in mining.
Now, I want to talk about the complete production story because that sounds like a Hollywood project as well. Why don't you take us through all of that?
Yeah, that's the exciting part for me because when I worked at Waterton, I saw so many deals, debt deals you're doing. You know, like if you look at any copper company, I don't think I've ever seen a Capex under 600 million. It's usually $1 billion. It's a 10-year permitting. It's a nightmare. And so when I look at this and see $135 million to build it, that's like $5 in our industry. I am mostly focused on the payback.
Okay.
Give me the profile of the shortest payback because every debt fund will give me money, but they will give me a better deal when the payback is shorter. First, you have a past producer.
Yep.
Then you have a payback that's between 12 and 18 months. Who's not going to give us money?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to give us money for that. It is so low risk, it's ridiculous. So we're going to take as much debt as we can. No dilution to our shareholders. We will do an equity component as we do that, but obviously everybody's going to want to play on that. And it's the less financing we're going to do because then we'll be cash flowing. It's a really good situation.
Amazing. You're also in a very, very difficult jurisdiction, even though it's, it's not completely volatile with dangers or whatever else. I mean, you should write a book, first of all, on everything that you've seen. How are you navigating through some of the challenges that keep you up at night? And first of all, actually foremost, what keeps you up at night?
Things I can't control. Look, we are in the best jurisdiction in the world for mining. It's as simple as that. That's not me saying that. That's the Fraser report saying that. And it's very methodical and actually quite boring in that it's probably German people would love it. It's just, here is the list of stuff you need to do and keep checking it off the list.
Perfect.
But when you're working with all these different components, like the higher into the permitting you get, there's so many different groups that have to sign off simultaneously. It's a dance, and someone needs to be orchestrating it all the time. And fortunately, because I'm a control freak, I am on the phone nonstop with the entire team of, okay, you're doing this and you're doing this. And I mean, it's all going quite well, but if you're not on top of it, then the timetable can go sideways 6 months just because you're not on top of it. So for me, that's always the biggest risk with our company of getting in production quicker. I've always said that we'll have a permit in Q1. I hope that is correct. I believe it to be today, but there's things that are out of my control. So every day I'm working to make sure that we are on target. And if we're not, I will be honest with the public and tell them that at the end of the day, you can only do what you can do.
Absolutely.
To get it done. But we are going to have a mine next year, and that's the most exciting part. And when I talk to our contract miners, the build out is 6 months, which is the shortest timeline I've ever heard of. So by Q4, we'll be pouring gold bars.
Phenomenal.
Which is exciting.
Now, you're going to be on one of my panels. We're going to actually talk about how to finance a junior mining company. So,
so many ways to do that.
So many. Let me count the ways. But why don't you give us a little sneak peek on what to really expect in that conversation?
My personal advice to anybody this is a really hard question for me because I came from a debt facility company that saw a lot of really bad decision making. And I always think of everything in my life as a legacy. So anything I do for this company can't compromise the legacy of this, not just the company, but the assets, meaning I want to do the best financing possible for the company so that 10, 15, 30 years from now, someone else has it and says, they did a great job, a clean deal to make this successful, i.e. meaning, do you need a stream to raise $100 million? Absolutely not. Is it easy? I could raise it right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do it the hard way to make sure the company is protected. So my way is not necessarily most people's way. It's the most, I feel it to be the most high level, integrity level, to bring the best value to shareholders. That's just my path.
That's your path, yeah. So as an investor now going into MKK,
I'm excited. It's my fun.
I know. I would like to give them one piece of advice going into that room on what to expect.
Well, I mean, with our company, I hope that they expect that you'll see a leader that works nonstop to make this company successful. I have no doubt this is going to be successful. I've put in a lot of time, money, and projects to it to make sure it happens. The mining space right now is the best space to be in the world of any, tech, everything. It's where you can get 10, 20, 30 baggers, but you need to educate yourself. I will never tell someone to invest in my company without them doing their own homework. I won't do it to any family members. In fact, I tell them the opposite. I don't want to be responsible for other people's decision, but just listen and take a beat and make your own decisions on that, because you can see through the weeds, the path.
Absolutely.
You just have to be open to listening.
Perfect. Wow. Now, Kimberly, that was a very, very clear and very precise conversation. Where can we find you?
Everywhere.
Okay. What's your ticker? Where are you?
My ticker. That was a trick question. LG on the TSX. We're on the Frankfurt. What is it?
We'll have to put it up.
F1Y. I'm not sure what it is.
Okay.
And then we're on the OTC XF. So we're everywhere. We trade over 5 million shares a day. So
there we go.
Lots of trading volume.
And what's your website?
LahontanGoldCorp.com.
LahontanGoldCorp.
And if you really want to talk to me, my phone number and email is on there. I am the direct line for information.
That's right. Don't forget 011. Okay, thank you again for sitting with me. Now, this is a leadership that's hands-on, fully committed, and driving every piece of this forward. And in this market, that level of control and clarity, that's what builds the trust. I really, really appreciate this conversation. I'm Lyndsay Malchuk with Apaton right here in Munich. Stay tuned, more to come.